Today for Your Child, we're discussing ways to maintain healthy parent-child relationships after a painful divorce. When adults can no longer stand to be around each other, sometimes one parent is also left out in the cold with the children. In fact, polls show 22 million parents in the U.S. report being alienated from one or more children. Joining us live via Skype is Gingergentile, director of the documentary Erasing Family. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, thank you for having me on tonight.
Well, thank you for being here. And you describe yourself actually as a child of a high conflict divorce. So how would you describe that pain of alienation from a parent?
So the worst thing when you're a child of high conflict divorce is that you always feel like your parents' love is conditional. And what I mean by that is that you have to show loyalty to one parent in order to feel loved by the other parent. So love isn't unconditional. You have to do things. You have to be their friend and confidant instead of being their kid. And you also have to sometimes pass messages back and forth or repeat what they say. And the worst is when a parent says, part of you is bad because that part of you comes from the other parent. And that can be done by bad mouthing, by saying, oh, your dad isn't good at this, your mom's crazy. And as a child, I felt like all of me was bad because each parent was telling me about the bad things the other parent said to me. And it just created a lot of confusion and, of course, very hard to form healthy relationships as an adult if that is your childhood.
Oh gosh, well, I'm sorry that you went through that. That just breaks my heart for the kids that do have to go through that type of parenting once they divorce. So we all want to love our kids unconditionally, and divorce is so difficult for all involved, especially children like yourself, what you went through. What are the do's and don'ts of communicating with your children after divorce?
So I think it's very important for the parents who are having trouble maintaining contact with their kids because the family courts aren't acting quick enough, especially in these COVID times. Because an agreement isn't being enforced or because one parent is doing all they can to prevent that relationship. First of all, don't give up. Don't give up your power. Talk and text with your kid as much as you can, but you need to keep it light. Share fun memes and photos, videos, share fun memories, but stay away from, I miss you. You can say love you, but don't say, I love you so much, why don't you talk to me? You have to be the fun parent and the stable parent.
Okay, so to not say things like, I miss you, does that create more sadness? Is that the reasoning behind that one?
It creates stress because then the kids feel like they're to blame. They might want to see you, but they're being prevented from seeing you and loving you. So it just creates a lot of burden on them as opposed to saying, hey, remember a few years ago when we went fishing, here's a photo from that. Or I saw this sign, it's a kind of a joke, haha, let me send you that. Or I saw this funny meme or video on TikTok. Share light things and then your kids will associate you with fun and lightness. And kids hate conflict. So as soon as they sense conflict, sadness, anger, they run away. Sometimes kids run to one parent, but they might run away from both, especially as they get older.
And sometimes, you know, some parents, when they argue, one ends up giving up their visitation time or staying away from events. You had mentioned earlier not to give up your power. So is that really a healthy thing to do?
No, I recently talked with a dad who said that his son said, I will never talk to you again if you get remarried. And I asked him, well, what happened? And he goes, I haven't talked to my son in 5 years. So I said, get remarried. But that also means show up at school events, even if your child says, I don't want you to show up. Because they actually do want you to show up. They're parroting what the other parents said to them. So you should show up, but be calm, friendly, don't make a scene. But as soon as you stop showing up or showing up to visitation, the other parent can say, see, they abandoned you.
Oh.
I'm still here for you.
Yeah, that's sad. Well, is it best to be honest with your child about how painful divorce can be, or could that instead add also to their stress?
So while you should never lie, you can always say, this is between adults and you shouldn't be put in the middle. I'm sorry that you were told some things you shouldn't be told. I'm happy to talk to you about it when you're older, and you can pick an age. The age could be 25, 30, but you should just say, how does that make you feel? And focus on your child's feelings, make them feel safe, loved, and listened to. But your child is not a judge, and don't put the other parent on trial. Trust me, if they're doing negative behaviors, the kid will find out eventually. You don't have to tell them. In fact, you should model the behavior that you want the other parent to do towards you by always talking in positive terms about the other parent or not saying anything at all.
It can have a lasting impact on your child, as it did with you. And Ginger, thank you for producing this documentary. Hopefully it could also help many other people out there. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
And Ginger Gentile's documentary, Erasing Family, is available to stream for free on YouTube and Tubi. You can also rent it on Amazon, iTunes, and Vimeo.